The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For the best in vacation plannings, just visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Let them know that the No New Friends podcast sent you. So there's a video of me, and I haven't shared it yet, but there's a video of me walking down Main Street for the first time. Because Darren's like, I want to see your face when you see the castle. And I'm like, I know, it's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. So I'm at Disneyland, the Mecca, right? Where it all began. And I get on Main Street and I see this castle. And I'm like, mwah, mwah. It was, Sarah, it would be like dating a black dude and being so excited, but turns out he has a micro penis. Like that was essentially the equivalent.
I just don't understand why you keep saying it's a small castle. It's a perfectly average sized castle. You don't want these huge castles. You want a castle that's just the right size. You don't want it too big. You want it just perfect.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios, it's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
Just like the guy said, we're the No New Friends podcast. You can connect with us. All of our social media links on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our sweet merchandise. Also, join our clubhouse. Become a friend with benefits. My name is Scott. I am the host. With me, as always, my amazing cast of characters, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Welcome back, Scott.
The Jewish American princess, Sarah.
Hello.
Our emotional support gay, Nick.
It's a me. I'm a gay.
And hanging out with us this evening, the wise man, Darren.com.
I miss Disneyland.
And our producer, Alex.
Thank you, Scott. Last week, Chris didn't introduce me or thank me at the end. It's like, I put in hours and hours into this every week and get no recognition, and I get to speak once an episode, and then this.
Guys, incredible job last week without me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Chris, I don't know if you noticed, I took some inspiration from you. That was the shortest intro ever.
That was really good.
I was so surprised that it was like right to our names.
Yeah. Everybody knows that we're here. I don't need to remind everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The guy just said
He did.
we're the No New Friends podcast. He also said the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting.
Yep.
Why do I need to do all that?
You don't. And you know what's ironic is that I influenced you to have a shorter intro.
Yes.
Think about that.
That is
for a second.
The short guy did that.
Well, the guy with the longest winded stories, longest winded intros, longest winded outros. He doesn't know how to end an episode. And he influenced me to shorten things down. Well, he influenced me to crisp things down a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a little racist for using the other term.
And Sarah, I do need to clarify something with you. When I introduce you, I'm insulting by racially profiling you or religiously profiling you. I guess we never really discussed, hey, are you okay with Jewish American princess? I just throw it out. Should I just the princess? What do you want me to do?
I mean, technically I am, so it doesn't hurt my feelings that bad.
Okay.
I just don't like to label people. It was a me thing.
In Hebrew, my name actually does mean princess.
See?
Whoa.
See?
Yes.
Oh, so Scott is just woke.
Wow.
I am woke. Thank you.
Don't tell him that.
Well, Sarah called herself that in an episode. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. We've been searching for a nickname. Jewish American princess. That's the way to go.
Although, Scott, what does NWA stand for?
New
They
World
called
Order.
themselves that, so why can't you say it?
Wait, what?
They called themselves that, so why can't you say it, according to you?
New World Order?
NWA?
NWA.
The rap group?
I don't know what NWA is.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got a ton to get to. Of course, there wasn't going to be a week that goes by that I don't talk about myself. And I know it was nice for you guys that I wasn't here to talk about myself. But
Well, you had to do a call in, of course.
I did. I did have to do a call. I'm such a narcissist, Nick. Like, I got to call in so I don't miss an episode. So Darren and I went to Disneyland last week, and that's why he's here, so we can kind of fill in some gaps. And something that I really didn't discuss with you guys beforehand about is how much anxiety I had taking this trip without Rachel. Okay. Not because I was going to miss her or because I was having fun and she wasn't. It was because I don't make decisions when I travel like she does that. I don't know how to travel. I don't know how to do anything without Rachel. Chris, you know the feeling, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a stupid question.
Right. Nick knows how to travel because he's a professional traveler.
This is true.
Yeah.
I'm leaving in 2 days.
Right. Sarah, who is... How you guys are probably all equal. We do things together.
Yeah,
you know?
We don't leave each other's side.
Well, yeah. But if you so if Lewis traveled without you, would he be able to do all the things that are required for traveling? Like if he was doing a work trip or something?
Yeah, because I usually actually let him set things up when we travel.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness I had an adult with me, Darren, because Darren was able to like show me how to check into TSA and all that and get us through the process.
But you also complained about him half the time in text message.
No,
really?
I didn't. What?
Oh, that's interesting. Nick, tell me more.
You're like, he's holding us back. We're trying to rope drop and close the park, and he wants to take a break and take his time.
I did say that at one point. I did say that. So Darren, the first full day that we were there, when you like were struggling to get up from the nap and I went down to the pool bar, I was like, well, I'm stuck at the pool bar because Darren's lazy ass won't get out of bed. I did say that. I did say that.
Tell everybody what time you had me up that morning.
We'll get there. So,
okay.
So here's like, so many adulting fails because I just don't know how to do this stuff without my wife. So we go to check in our luggage and they're like, well, do you have any lithium batteries in your suitcase? And I'm like, no. And Darren's like, yes. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, your fuel rods. And he's like, why didn't you put them in your lounge fly? Like, so I'm sitting there.
You wore your lounge fly onto the plane?
It wasn't his intention.
Gosh.
I did. I had 2 lounge flies. I had one for Universal, one for Disney. I had my
They're walking. You're walking past you. So like, this guy's not a threat. Just let him through.
So Darren's like, you dumbass. Like, why are you packing your lounge flies? Those need to go with you. So I'm there in the check-in line, unpacking my suitcase. And
one of those.
You're that person.
Yeah, we all know. We all seen them.
Yeah. Now, the first time my wife and I went to Mexico on our honeymoon, we had to unpack our bags because one of them was over 50 pounds. So we had to like redo everything. It was very embarrassing.
You have to take the little Mexican child that you tried to smuggle back out.
Right. So we do the check-in process, and it's pretty smooth after the hiccup with the fuel rods. And we head over to TSA, which is about a 25-minute line, probably the longest line that I've waited in at Orlando International. So we do the thing, and Darren goes first, and he turns around and looks at me, and he gives me this look. And he's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, what? And he's like, they think I'm 2 years old. And I'm like, what are you talking, like mentally, or what are you talking about? He's like, no, they put my birthday, or like when you bought my ticket, you put it as 2020 instead of 2000.
Oh my gosh.
So Darren's birthday was listed. It's a child's ticket. How we didn't see that? I don't know, but it's a child's ticket. So
Nick booked the child's ticket for you?
I didn't book anything because I never got a call about this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The second vacation.
Guys, listen, there was a reason for it. There's a reason that I didn't go through Nick.
Yeah, you hate supporting small business.
Stop.
No, he just hates gays.
Yeah. Pride Month's over.
No, none of that. So Darren's like, we have to go back and get our ticket fixed. So I immediately text Rachel and I was like, it's already begun. I've had to unpack my suit. We've only been at this airport for a half an hour. I've had to unpack my suitcase. Darren is listed as a child. So she thinks that I'm blaming her because she bought the plane tickets. And I was like, she's like, well, you could book all the vacations from now on. And I'm like, Oh, no. That's not what I'm saying. But also, if I do, I will actually book through Nick instead of the way that you do things. So we go back to check in. They fix our tickets and all that. And this is how much of a bougie, like, Disney nerd I am, Disney Universal. So we go back to TSA, right? And I'm like, we have to wait in another 25-minute line. And Darren pulls out this piece of paper from his pocket and he's like, nope, we've got Genie Plus through TSA. And it was a fast pass back to the front of the line. So that was amazing. Now we get to the airport super early, like 3 hours early. And we, of course,
you should at Orlando, because Orlando's a hot mess.
Yeah, it is
always.
And it's hot as hell outside too. But, it really wasn't that bad. And honestly, in my experience traveling, Orlando's the easiest airport, but I know it so well. Nick, I know it so well. Atlanta sucks. LAX sucks. LaGuardia sucks.
Have you been to Columbus, Ohio? Because our airport has like 6 gates.
Well, but you only have 6 people coming in and out of Columbus, Ohio. So it's no big deal. But don't sleep on Columbus. It's beautiful. I've seen in pictures.
Too many gays there.
Too many gays there. Yeah. So we're waiting for our flight. I'm looking around and I'm like, Darren, like, there is so much plastic surgery all over the place. Like, because everybody's flying to LA, plastic surgery and volleyball teams. Everybody's flying back home. And it was terrible. So I like to fly JetBlue. And, you know, if you remember our trip to Jamaica, we flew Southwest and paid $500 to upgrade to first class, which
didn't say first class, which you didn't ask our travel agent for.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't first class. It was just priority seating behind all the Jamaicans with the wheelchairs. We're flying American Airlines. Okay. And I'm excited. I'm like, okay, this is a 5-hour flight. I'm going to have a TV. I'm set. I brought my earphones with the round jack because it's not an iPhone. So I can plug it into the plane, watch some TV, and it's going to be
earphones.
What's that? My earphones. Yes.
Yeah,
what do you call them? They're not, they weren't AirPods.
Earbuds, headphones.
What did I?
You combine the both of them.
I'm old, Chris. So we get on the plane and we've got the extra leg room. Not first class, but second class. We have second class seats. There's no TV there. I'm like, where the fuck is the television?
On your phone.
I was going to say in your pocket.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Great idea. Except I have an iPhone and I did not bring my
your earphones. You didn't bring the right earphones.
Didn't bring the right earphones that plug into the iPhone. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm not watching anything. I guess I'm just going to watch TikTok and Facebook Reels and all that with captions, because you can't listen. They won't let you, like, they're like, this is a quiet flight. You have to have your
That's just any flight, Scott.
They also don't allow smoking either, if you don't know.
We'll get there, Nick.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, there's free Wi-Fi. Well, the free Wi-Fi only gets you the movies, which I can't watch because I don't have my earphones. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm like, you know what? I'll look out the window and watch everything fly by. Of course, it was a cloudy day and all I could see was clouds for 5 hours. Nothing to see.
We also threw directly through the middle of a hurricane.
Oh, so I ended up buying Wi-Fi so I could play solitaire on my phone, because solitaire wouldn't work without the Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're flying over Texas, right? And let me.
You don't have games on your phone like a normal person?
I do, but they're all internet based, so I couldn't do anything. Okay, so the announcement, like, we get the announcements and all that we're flying towards this hurricane, and it's not the flight attendant, it's the pilot. But I was very confused. I thought it was the flight attendant until she said, I am your pilot today. And I'm like, they're letting women fly planes now?
Oh my God.
We saw what happened at the Indiana Jones stunt show where she couldn't park the plane on the turntable. What's going to happen now? Is she going to get angry with traffic and start cursing? Like, what is happening? She did a very good job, though. It was a harder landing than I would have liked, but, you know, she got us there. So that was a win. So they come over the announcements.
That's hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then they told us something. And they're like, we're going to be flying over or through or around the tropical storm or whatever. So things are going to get very bumpy. We're delaying drink service. So now on a 5-hour flight, now I can't get drinks, Chris, because this damn hurricane.
I always bring mine on the flight, which I found out was a federal offense. But anyway, we'll cut that. They should make that more known. Seriously.
Well, they should. They should. So they're like, it's going to get very bumpy. Like it's good. The turbulence is going to get really bad. So go to the restroom now. You have about 30 minutes. So now it's mass panic to get to the restroom, not mass panic about the turbulence, mass panic to get to the restroom. So there's a line, and it seemed like everybody had to poop, and it's taking forever. Finally get there, sit down, and they're like, okay, we're 10 minutes away from the first wave of turbulence. I'm texting my family, and I'm like, if I don't make it, you know, I love you. Thank you for everything. I had Rachel update the will. I cut Chris out. You know, it was this whole thing. So we go, and they're like, okay, here it comes. There's one bump, and that's it. The rest of the flight. I'm like, really? I couldn't get a beer with that? Like, what is happening? There was more turbulence on the flight home than what we experienced there. So we get to LAX, and LAX is a hot mess, Chris. Nick, you want to talk about hot mess? LAX sucks.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. So I made the decision not to rent a car. And we were just going to Uber.
I know where this is going.
And we were just going to Uber. And that was actually the right plan, because I didn't want to spend money on a rental car that was just going to sit in the hotel parking lot for 3 days and pay parking just for a flight to and from the airport and then a flight to and from Universal. It just didn't make any sense. So we Ubered everywhere. It was the right move. So Rachel's like, well, why don't you reserve your Uber? And I was like, I don't know about that, because if we're delayed or anything, I don't like that idea. I'll just, once we land, then we'll get the Uber. So
yeah, it's usually bad to take advice from her.
Well, yeah, she put my son as a 2-year-old, so you know she was. So
you didn't recognize me until 2 years ago, so
I didn't.
He's a girl dad.
So we're at the pickup line, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Which is like 18 miles away, right?
From what?
The pickup line for Uber at LAX.
It's far.
Okay,
yes.
No, we're at the regular pickup line where loved ones pick up their family, because that's what made sense to me. We walk out the door, and I immediately have to go smoke. Darren was a rock star. He's like, I'll wait for the bags. You go chain smoke, and then we'll meet up here. So I'm like kind of scouting the area, and I see, oh, ride share right here. And I'm like, fantastic. I'm like, Darren, we just have to walk this way. Why don't you go ahead and call the Uber and all that? So he's like, no, that's not what we have to do. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm on the Uber site right now. Darren was a rock star with handling all the technology the whole week. He did everything. So
that's what she said.
So wait, what? Anyway, so Darren's like, no, we have to ride a bus to the Uber lot. And I'm like, okay, well then abort. Don't do anything yet.
Oh, you can't do. Oh, you can actually do that in California.
Yeah, you can for now. He's like, we have to ride this bus. It comes every 5 minutes. And then that'll take us to the Uber lot. I'm like,
wow.
okay.
Did it remind you of you?
Coming every 5 minutes? No. I'm once a day, Chris. Don't you remember my wife tries to sexually assault me after I get off? I'm like, no, I'm done.
I don't want to hear about that.
Oh, it's in episode 214, I think.
No.
So
I'll send it to you in Dropbox.
so we have to ride this bus. And they're like, it arrives every 5 minutes. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. We missed the one bus because it was full. It was like, those train videos in like Indonesia where everybody's like trying to like.
Oh, I've seen some train videos. Yes.
That's on OnlyFans. The ones that you watch. For legal reasons, Emily, that's not true. He doesn't watch OnlyFans. So I'm like, no problem. We'll just take the next one. We see another bus coming. And
stop saying coming. Every 5 minutes, they came over the intercom. The bus is now coming. Get your head on the gutter, man.
So we see another. It's LA Exit is the name of the bus, and it's arriving, and then it keeps going because it's full. Because like we're at like the last gate.
Well, if you would have flown Southwest Airlines, Southwest is the closest one to the Uber parking there.
Wow, why would you know all that, Nick? It's like you're a professional.
Maybe if you contact a professional.
I should have called Nick because
we made the same mistake because you would think they would pick you up right there out front or close by because there's literally like 7 different terminals in like a 5-mile radius there. It's a lot of walking.
It's awful. It's so awful. We saw about 10 buses go by that were full. We waited for at least a half an hour for a bus. Okay. Now, mind you, I had been up since 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time that morning because I worked in the morning, got off of work, went home, smoked a cig, left for the airport. So it's, Darren, what was it? Like 10 o'clock Pacific time? So
yeah, it was like 10. You were almost up for 24 hours.
No, I was. That's the thing. I was up for 24 hours because by the time we finally got to bed after getting settled into the hotel and getting food, it was 12:30 Pacific time, which is 3:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we finally go to this Uber lot. It's cold there. It was cold and it was like kind of misty. It wasn't raining, but it was misty. Yeah.
I was confused what was cold.
Oh, sorry. The weather. And I'm like, I should have worn a sweatshirt. Like, it's cold. And of course, I've been up for, at this point, 21 hours. I'm exhausted. So everything is worse. It's colder. So we take what was it? 45 minutes, I think, was the Uber ride. It was the shortest Uber ride we took all week from LAX to Anaheim. We get to Disneyland Hotel, which was amazing. And we get the bags up and I was like, hey, where can I smoke? And like, there's no smoking here at Disneyland Resort. I'm sorry, what? There's no smoking at Disneyland Resort. So I'm thinking just the hotel. I'm like, okay, well, where's the smoking area in downtown Disney? They're like, no. No smoking at Disneyland Resort. And I'm like, I know, but where's the smoking area downtown Disney? And they're like, that's part of the resort. Oh, okay. I get it now. The whole thing is the reason you're making yourself sound bigger than you are. I get it. So I just walked to the valet lot and like hid behind a car and smoked a cigarette real quick, but nothing, no food was open. Like we couldn't get, like it's 12:30 at night. Everything's closed. So we had to order McDonald's, and much to
the fastest I've ever gotten McDonald's on Uber Eats. It was like
so fast,
10 minutes,
so fast. But I got to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised being in California with all the liberal hippies. I thought for sure I was going to get a paper straw, and I didn't. I got the red and yellow plastic straw. It was delightful. Again, 24 hours. Darren's like, we're waking up at 6:30. And I'm like, well, I'm not. I'll wake up at 7. I need that extra half hour of sleep. So at 5:15, I wake up. Again, mind you, 24 hours. I've been up. 5 a.m., wake up, use the restroom. By 5:15, I spring up out of my bed. And I'm like, Darren, I'm just too excited. We have to wake up now. So we were up at 5:15 in the morning. And it was So all joking aside, it was this incredible vacation. It was incredible going to Disneyland to see everything. We were staying at the Disneyland hotel, so they shoved Disney down our throat, made us swallow, and I was there for it.
Welcome to California.
Yeah. Our headboard, which had the castle on the headboard, when you turned on the lamp, it was a music box, and the fireworks lit up. It was incredible.
Turn on the lamp in front of your son?
What?
Never mind. I'm sorry. That was I totally misread what you said. I'm sorry.
So the last thing, because I'm sure you'll have questions, and I'm sure some of you want to get into the Disneyland aspect, but I'm just into telling you the story about how I'm a dumbass. I did find a smoking area, by the way. I had to walk past the valet lot into the Uber lot, and it wasn't an official smoking area, but they're like, yeah, that's where people won't mess with you. So I did smoke there. That's where I almost witnessed the murder that I talked to you guys about last week, which was super weird. So there's a video of me, and I haven't shared it yet, but there's a video of me walking down Main Street for the first time. Because Darren's like, I want to see your face when you see the castle. And I'm like, I know, it's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. So I'm at Disneyland, the Mecca, right? The where it all began. And I get on Main Street and I see this castle. And I'm like, it was, Sarah, it would be like dating a black dude and being so excited, but turns out he has a micro penis. Like that was essentially the equivalent.
I just don't understand why you keep saying it's a small castle. It's a perfectly average sized castle. You know what? These huge castles. You want a castle that's just the right size. You don't want it too big. You want it just perfect.
So, Nick and Sarah, I felt really bad at one.
Size queen.
I felt really bad at one point. So I FaceTime Chris, and we were at California Adventure. I FaceTime Chris, and I was like, "It's so close." And I was like, "Here, we're leaving California Adventure, and now we're at Disneyland." And he's like, "Well, can I see the castle?" And I'm like, "Sure." So it was Pixar Fest. So there was a big Pixar sign, and here in Orlando, you would be able to see the castle over the Pixar side. Okay. But there you can't. And Chris is like, where is it? I can't see it. So Chris's mom is watching, right? And I don't think about it. And I'm like, I know, Chris, it's like September 12th. Oh my God. I'll let that one sink in. Because he's used to seeing something and now he can't see it.
Thank you.
Anyway, so that was the trip. It was amazing. I definitely cried a couple times. Universal was weird. It was silly. It's on 2 levels.
Remy just got it.
Universal has literally 4 escalators to get to the lower level.
The long escalator. Those escalators are so long.
It's a ride in itself.
It is. It is. And, Universal Orlando does such a great job of theming. You're very immersed in the land or the island or whatever. Like Universal Hollywood, they put things where they could find room. With the exception of Super Nintendo Minion Land, which is built on the top of a parking garage, and Hogsmeade. But when you go down the escalator, you look to your left, there's Jurassic World, which has the ride, a shop, a restaurant, and a play area. You look to your right, there's Mummy. And it's like, where's the theming here? Where's the separation? But I would highly recommend everybody to put on their bucket. If you're a Disney fan, Universal fan, put on your bucket list to go out to California. It was incredible.
It's a great time. Did you feel Disneyland? Did you feel that nostalgic moments?
100%. 100%. Especially the first ride we rode was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. A ride that I haven't been on since I was a kid, and Chris's height. And, in my mind, that ride does not exist anymore. So to be able to ride this ride that does not exist anymore, that I only had in the memory banks, was really, really cool. It was like stepping out of a time machine. That and safety doesn't matter there. Like you could reach up and touch the ceiling. It's really weird.
Oh,
Those storybook boats, it's like, okay, everybody stand up at the same time or the boat's going to flip. I'm like, wait, you allow this? Like, what? Okay.
I feel like the safety back in the day, like they haven't updated anything.
No.
It's literally from
100
years ago. It's vintage there.
Yeah, they were auctioning off black people in Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, I was like, you got to update this. You have to update this. It's 2024. Things have to change. I wrote a letter.
That was outside the hotel, Scott. That wasn't Pirates of the Caribbean. Scott went there for different reasons.
That's what's so unique. So you've seen how Disney World, it puts you inside of a bubble,
right?
And how Disneyland is literally like it's a city essentially inside of a city there,
right?
So the first time that we actually ever went there was before marijuana was legalized.
Oh,
so my cousin,
so much marijuana in California, I could smell it.
You can get it delivered.
Yeah,
So
it was on Uber.
for Disneyland Hotel.
Yeah.
It's basically literally on Uber now. So we were trying to find some weed, and my cousin found this place, and at the time he lived like 40 minutes away from Disneyland. We drove 40 minutes to buy weed from a place that's literally a block away from Disneyland. Super sketch, super ghetto, and it was literally like, okay, only one person can go in. Yeah. It was not safe.
Yeah.
And it's right next to Disneyland. So you can see fireworks and get weed at the same time.
Disneyland did what I had pictured in my mind is being able to see freeways from Disneyland and because I've seen the documentaries and it was it's Disneyland in a parking lot and roads around it. Like I was pleasantly surprised with how good of a job Disney has done to really enclose you now at Disneyland. Like I felt like I was fully immersed in just being at Disneyland.
Disney does the same thing with children overseas.
I loved California Adventure. I didn't think, Sarah, you know how much I love Tower of Terror. By far my favorite ride. I didn't think I would like a ride better than Tower of Terror until I rode Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which is essentially the same ride, but Guardians themed. Incredible ride. And
but they don't have our Guardians.
They don't have our Guardians. No. They have the better Guardians.
What? Oh, really? It's better than the Orlando Guardians.
Oh, 1,000%. Yes. It's so good. So good.
I'm very impressed with it because we rode Tower of Terror out there, I think the year that it closed.
Okay.
So we got to see both versions of it. And it's just so weird riding Tower of Terror there because their Tower of Terror doesn't go forward.
Correct. Right.
So that was the...
Oh, really? That's lame.
The downfall before because I'm like, oh, this is kind of lame. I'm like, it literally just goes up and down. It doesn't have that cool like moments where you move forward.
Right.
So when they announced that they're going to retheme it, I'm like, this is going to be awful. And they did a really, really, really good job. And you get different experiences every time you ride it too.
Yep. Different music, different experiences.
And they changed it for the holidays. Like they have awesome, they'll change it for Halloween literally at like 5:00.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where what we lost in the elevator moving forward, we gained in more drops and launches. Like it is when you're in the main shaft, it's a much longer experience. Seeing both of
Are you sure you weren't in West Hollywood?
Isn't that guy's house down the street from Disneyland?
Seeing both of your faces realize I said the shaft and a longer experience. But when you're in the main elevator shaft, you get so much more up and downs at Guardians.
And it's crazy how they flipped because Tower Terror was essentially a scary ride where you're like, oh my gosh, we're dropping. And they flipped it and made it a fun, happy ride. So it's crazy how they switch your emotions on it too.
Yeah, for sure. But I definitely I caught more airtime than I have done. And at one point it was going so fast.
Well, how much beer did you have in your belly at that time?
That doesn't matter.
That's probably why.
At that time, I didn't know if were going up or down. There was one sequence where I was like, I don't know if we went up or down right then because it was just so fast. It was incredible. So the beer situation, let's talk about that for a second, Nick. So they don't sell beer at Disneyland, which I knew, but the parks are so close to each other that we park hopped 8 times a day, both parks. California Adventure is like, okay, we have beer here, but we're not going to celebrate the fact that we have beer here. It is not as accessible as, let's say, Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. Like, we had to search for beer. They didn't have it. It was like Modelo. That's
great.
No, I just want Bud Light. They had no Bud Light.
It's the same thing.
They had one place that had Mick Ultra. That was the closest that I got to Bud Light. I was like, "There's no."
You're an alcoholic if you're abbreviating beers. Like, you have nicknames for beers now. You don't even have a nickname for your son. You have nicknames for beers.
It was so difficult to find. Like, there was no Bud Light at Disneyland. We didn't find it until the last day, and they delivered it to our room.
You could have just walked literally right next door to all the restaurants right there in downtown Disney.
They didn't have Bud Light at the downtown Disney restaurants, Nick. I looked.
Oh.
There was no, like, it was
well,
like.
we just drink liquor and drugs, so.
Well, I'm starting to think that California is not as liberal as we thought, and they're a little bit homophobic with no Bud Light. Now,
Universal had Bud Light.
Universal did have Bud Light, and I had a lot of it. It was a great trip. I got to hang out with Darren. Super fun. We got to do and see everything that we wanted.
Not everything.
What do you mean?
There's one thing. When I said, we're going to California, we have to get In-N-Out Burger. Chris, how many times do you think we got In-N-Out Burger?
Oh, you son of a bitch, Scott.
Listen, when we were in the room, I was done. I was dead. I was done for the day. I had to save my energy for rope dropping. I did not want to I told him, I was like, dude, get an Uber and go get you some. But make sure you bring something back. And he's like, no, I'm bringing.
It's better fresh. You have to eat it there or it's not as good.
Darren, how was your free fucking trip to Disneyland?
How was your free fucking trip to Disneyland, Scott?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let's be real now.
Thank you, Rachel.
But yeah, great time. I was exhausted. It was exhausting because it was not, as Darren would say, this is not a vacation. It's a quest.
It's a quest.
But it was amazing. I missed you guys. Like I said, I thought that I may be part of an active shooting situation. I was very scared, started praying to the Jesus, as did the guy over the lady who either got shot or had a heart attack or fell. I still don't know. I have no closure. Search the news. Don't know.
Newsies.
But Nick, you
News
met
platforms.
Jesus this week, right?
I did meet Jesus this week. So back up to last week when you weren't here, which was such an amazing episode.
I still think about that.
It was so good. We talked about ADHD, and I've recently discovered that there's such thing as too much ADHD medication. Where the past couple weeks, life has been fast forward. So I've been having epiphanies like every 5 seconds.
Really?
If
I
you've
dated
ever
a
had
girl
one,
named
it's
that in high school.
not Tiffany. No, Epiphany.
Oh, gotcha.
If you've ever had one, it's like everything just feels like it's clicking together. And last week, I messaged my doctor at 4:00 in the morning because I was wide awake, organizing my thoughts, my feelings, and everything. And at that time, I just realized that I felt like I was learning so much about myself at the same time that I was like kind of starting to see into the future.
What?
Yeah. So it was getting really weird to the point that, like I said, I had to message my doctor because I Googled it and I'm like, what is going on? Everything's just crazy. I can't sleep. I went to bed at 8 a.m. I was wide awake until 8 a.m.
Oh my God.
So I started.
I see Sarah's face. She's like, I can relate to everything that you're saying.
100%.
Yeah. I started getting like these epiphanies of just like everything was just making sense to me. And I started getting these memories popping up in my head. And in Ohio, we have these billboards on the interstate that says like hell is real and Jesus is coming. So those signs are
Jesus
coming up.
is going to arrive also.
And he's arriving.
He's arriving apparently. So these signs were popping up in my head, and all of a sudden, like I started thinking about like how we came to Earth.
Oh.
And about life and everything. And for a minute, I was like, I know why I'm here on Earth. I'm here to help find Jesus. And then I realized I am Jesus.
What?
So I'm having these epiphanies, and all of a sudden I was like, I think everything and everybody that's come into my life, I've had so much good things happening lately that I'm Jesus now.
Can I get what you're on?
You know, the first time I ever smoked weed, I kind of had a similar experience, but it landed with aliens in outer space. And then instead of me thinking I was Jesus, I thought I was Spider-Man. And then I ate my weight in Lay's potato chips. So, yep.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. I was also high on some sativa, and that mixed with the ADHD medication was like, ADHD is like, hey, we're going to help move you forward.
Yeah.
And the weed's like, okay, we're going to skyrocket you into space. And I saw all the planets. I saw Uranus.
And then you saw the planet.
yeah. I went to Uranus.
That was after I sent a picture. Nick, what's your go-to snack? Did you get the munchies when you smoke?
I used to get them all the time, and I would go towards Oreos.
Oreos, okay.
Chocolate, basically. That's my go-to snack.
Sarah, what's your go-to?
I as long as I'm alternating sweet and salty, I'll eat pretty much everything.
So Lewis.
Well.
Darren, did you have a favorite munchie snack?
Did I?
Do you?
Saltines. Saltines are my favorite munchie snack.
You are such an old soul. Like saltines. What?
Saltines. They're just,
Jesus.
they hit. So
you want some Ovaltine?
Well, you know my favorite cereal is too, right?
Cheerios?
Just plain Cheerios. Nothing in them. No sugar, no honey.
Yuck. Mine was Pringles. I'd eat a whole can of Pringles, and Peeps. I would eat a whole thing of Peeps. Like because I had to stock up, and I would just have a whole pantry full of Peeps for when I would.
See, this is why everything's clicking together and making sense now. It's like the Peeps looking at you. Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm not even high tonight. I just clicked.
You know, what's funny, Nick, is when you said that you were Jesus, it was weird. I saw Sarah get nails and hammers. So
oh my God.
Make that connection as you will. I don't know. So you were Jesus. Did you solve the homophobia problem?
I think I was sent here to be gay and show the world that it's okay to be gay.
Good.
All right.
Amen.
Jesus was gay.
Gotcha.
Amen.
I have a joke that I want to drop so much, but we said we wouldn't talk about a certain topic.
No, we can't.
I know.
We can't.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we can't.
It's so good, too. Damn it.
You could text us.
Yeah, that's basically all I had to say was I'm Jesus and I saw the future. But in all seriousness, I did speak to my doctor. I Googled it because I'm like, I was having a lot of weird side effects last week. Not only just with the whole fast forward, I was literally throwing up after taking medications.
Oh.
To a point that my body was just like, okay, we've had enough of this shit. Like, stop taking it. So in all seriousness, if you are over medicated or feel like you might be under medicated, please reach out to your doctor. Because I reach out to mine, we fix it. Hopefully it'll be better soon.
Awesome. And Your Holiness, thank you for being here.
But if you want to talk to Jesus, I'm still here for another day or two.
Sarah, how's the moving process? You still have the same background, so you haven't moved yet. What's the latest? What is going on with you?
So the latest is that we still haven't found a place that we're actually moving into. However, my house is getting a lot more packed.
See, I would make the excuse. I'd be like, I can't pack until I find a place. And then, be screwed. When do you have to move out? When's your lease up?
The end of August. We have just
you've got
over
plenty
a month.
of time. You've got plenty of time.
Yeah. Yeah. We have our eye on a couple of places, so we're just waiting for other sides of it to work out and go through applications and all that, and then go from there. But everything is ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
The TV's been long gone, so that's good. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, my whole house is full of boxes. There's stacks everywhere. I'm surprised there's none behind me, but there will be soon, I'm sure.
You and Chris have something in common. Chris's house is a box. He's homeless.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Chris is a father now. He has a child. They have a beautiful house.
Yeah, dude, you're going to have protective services come to my house. Not thinking I live in a box. Dude, that's offensive. It's dangerous rhetoric.
Sorry. I don't envy you. That's like, there are two processes in life that I'm just glad that I don't have to deal with anymore. You know, renting and dating. Like, they're both terrible. Like new dating, like, you know, like before you get to the second dating. And I did a lot of the first dates thing. It was awful. Anyway.
Well, renting sucks, but you know what? It works out, at least in our state, to be, if not the same price, then cheaper.
Yeah,
than buying a house. For sure.
It's the process. It's the process of finding somewhere
absolutely.
And moving, you know, once a year. That part sucks.
No, actually, I consider this to be a good time to purge. I have been purging so much stuff. I have taken out so much trash. Okay, Lewis has taken out so much trash.
Wow, that's racist of you, Sarah.
I have, you know what? There are certain things that I do around the house, and there are certain things that he does, and he's...
Real quick, Chris,
what?
Purging is what people do when they have too many things.
I can't relate.
They throw it away.
Chris, have you ever seen the horror movie The Purge when they
so like that?
People? Yeah. Like,
I've done that.
Wait, Chris, listen, here's the thing. I am, in fact, a hoarder, so it's not really, it's me just throwing out things that I've hoarded for like
I wouldn't
way
call you that.
too long.
Oh.
I'm a collector. Thanks, Chris.
Didn't want you to belittle yourself like that.
So if you want to hear what we just said, make sure you watch us on YouTube where nothing gets cut. All right. So Sarah, you were saying you make the Mexican carry out the trash during the purge.
He's not even Mexican.
Ryan says it.
Close enough. Cousins. They're all cousins. That's what I tell him. Remy said I'm purging my Disney annual pass. No, but you know, when you have to schlep two kids to Disney as well in 100-degree weather, you let me know.
That may have been the funniest thing that Remy's ever said, by the way. Remy was disappointed that you guys weren't there today. And he said, "Where's Lewis and Sarah?" And I said, "They don't like you. So they didn't join me." I'm just kidding.
We'll be back. We're just definitely getting situated.
Yeah. So, you've purged things. What all have you gotten rid of?
Like I said, there's a lot of things that I've collected for way too long. So certain things got thrown out. There's a lot of things that are getting donated. I have probably 10 boxes of stuff that's getting donated.
You're keeping all your lawn flies, right?
Yeah, of course. I have 5 boxes of those right now.
She's not a monster.
Oh my God. And I have another one that I have to somehow fit into the box because I just bought it. But we have this vintage shop in town that I've been going to for quite literally a decade, and they do kind of like a buy and sell thing. So
they bought back a lot of the stuff that you bought there?
Well, not yet, because I haven't brought stuff there yet. See, I have to go through my entire house. Yes, of course. I have to go through my entire house and make sure that I have everything so that I only have to make one trip. If I have to make a second trip, I'm not. It's just going to stay with me. So I might as well go through everything first and be sure that it's everything and take one trip.
Okay. Chris, are you okay? All this talk of purging. I saw you grasp your left shoulder and check your pulse. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something? I had to mute. This is a very sensitive subject for me. I had to step away for a second. No, I still have my daughter's umbilical cord, so. I keep telling Emily that I threw it away, but I guess I have 3 more weeks before she hears this, and I have to hide it in a new place.
Wait, aren't you supposed to? No, you're not supposed to keep the umbilical cord. Never mind.
Oh, what am I going to do with it? It's a body part. I'm going to throw it away. That feels weird. Am I going to burn it? Do I cremate it? Do I bury it? I don't know. And if I bury it, do I grow a new baby? I'm just too terrified. I'm too terrified
What's the thing?
to.
The placenta or something that they put in the freezer or something?
Yeah, I had to buy an extra freezer for that. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That looks way too much like steak.
Speaking on that, as I went through some spots, I don't know if this is going to sound weird or not, but I ended up finding teeth from the tooth fairy, right? Like in the Ziploc bag still.
Sarah,
But
this is the most
every
relatable
time-
thing that you have said to me. If you go back to early episodes of the No New Friends podcast, I'm saying like episodes 1 through 10, well, there were definitely conversations about me keeping my kids' teeth.
You have my teeth?
Not yours, Darren. He didn't care about you, remember?
Yeah. Darren, I just threw out all 3 of your teeth. In fact, I probably had more of yours labeled Darren's first tooth, Darren's second tooth, Darren's third tooth, Darren's fourth. Like I just got rid of them.
You didn't ask me if I wanted them? I could have made a necklace.
So anyway, Sarah, not that weird. I thought you were going to say like, I found the first condom that Lewis used with me, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird that you kept that.
We never use those anyway, so that would be a little weird. If I find one, there's a problem.
Wait, so never, like even the first Lewis, he's like even the first time.
Truthfully, it was half of the first time, and then it was screw this.
Oh,
literally, yeah.
Wow, and here I am. I've been married to we figured out today we've been together for like more than 8 years. We're still using condoms.
You're still on the first pack.
They're actually expired.
It's a jumbo pack, Chris. So Sarah, I wish you all the best in this moving process. I hope that in the purge process, are you okay? Are you getting sad throwing things out, or are you handling this okay?
Oh no, this ADHD has really helped me, with organizing and not feeling attached to things. Actually, I'm like, no, we're good. Throw that away. I've been much better.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I've missed you. I haven't seen you in weeks, other than
I know
your 2D self on the computer. I miss the hell out of you. I can't wait for it not to be Africa hot anymore, and we can resume our park fun. Maybe less streaming and more fun. Yeah. Chris, how is before we get into that, are you guys ready to play Jersey Man, Florida Man?
I just put my daughter's well-being on the back burner. Yeah.
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Every week, Game Master Ryan brings us 2 news stories. One is from Jersey, one is from Florida. It is up to us to determine which one is which. Take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan coming to you from the No New Friends newsroom located this week in a taxi cab. Since Scott still refuses to pay me for my talents, I'm having to take on side jobs just so I can make ends meet. Just got done picking up 2 old geezers that wanted me to drive them across town. Boy, do I have a surprise for them.
Cash cab.
That's right, you guys are on the cash cab. So this is an opportunity for you guys to win some money on your trip. All you have to do is answer some general knowledge questions. So what do you think? You guys want to play?
Come on, man. How many push-ups you want to do here, pal?
Sir, it's not that kind of competition. All you have to do is answer some questions. What do you think? You want to play?
I don't mind being here. Just do what you want.
All right, it's hoping for a little more enthusiasm than that. But let's get into the $100 question.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, that is a lot of money. What is the major export for North Carolina?
A bunch of stupid people.
Guys, while that might be accurate, that's still offensive and incorrect. So that's your first strike.
Come on, man.
Don't you come on me. I'm sure Scott's wife said that plenty of times. No, let's just move on to the next question. This is a $200 question. Who is the Prime Minister of Canada?
An uncivilized country. I can't think of a single major leader in the world.
Like, not even one? Not one leader in the world. You can't think of one of them.
Wow.
I gotta be honest, guys. I thought you'd be better at this. That's strike number 2.
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life.
Malarkey? Well, you really are like 90 years old, aren't you? You know, you guys have one more strike left. After this next question, if you get it wrong, I have to kick you out. What was the result of the War of 1812?
We finally beat Medicare.
No.
We lost 13 beautiful soldiers.
No, it was more than, I'm sure it was more than 13 soldiers. Listen, you guys lose. You're going to have to get out of the cab.
You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Why are you so angry, sir? Calm down, okay? You're going to hurt yourself. Look, there's a very nice lady sitting here waiting for you to get out of the cab.
No, you did such a great job. You answered every question.
Man, he answered every question wrong. He's not 6 years old. You don't have to treat him like that. And you, sir, where are your shoes? Why'd you take your shoes off? I like your ear piercing, though. Anyways, I need to clean the old person smell out of my taxi. It smells like cucumber and old books in here. So while I do that, let's get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man. And for our first story, a car is stolen with a 7-year-old in the back seat. And for our second story, a man is arrested for throwing an urn at his ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
All right, so we've got urn at the ex-girlfriend and car being stolen.
I can't name a single political leader. That was really good, Ryan.
All right, Darren, what do you think?
Come back to me.
Okay, Nick.
Wait, we've had that option this entire time we've been recording.
See, you just caught Scott off guard.
I didn't know pass was an option.
I passed too. Earn definitely Florida. I feel like you guys just carried around in your back seat like
Sarah.
I'm gonna have to say Earn, Florida.
All right, Darren.
I guess I'll say Earn, Florida.
Chris.
I have to say the same thing just because we get a lot of Amber Alerts up here.
All right. This is a 5-way. I am also going Earn, Florida, because you cannot steal, to steal a car with a kid in the backseat means the kid is now fried because it's been so hot all day. Kids, we don't leave kids in cars here. Well,
I think instead of a 5-way, you should have just called it an orgy. But, you know.
Well, also that's your dad. So.
All right, let's find out the answers.
So our first story is from New Jersey, where in Irvington, a car is stolen with a 7-year-old boy inside, and the whole thing is caught on camera. The car is abandoned a few blocks over, with the 7-year-old still safe inside. I know Chris and Scott don't have to worry about this happening. For one, anybody who steals Chris's car is just going to get laughed at. And nobody wants to steal Scott's car with the shape it's in, though Scott's car was a custom order. It was the only way he could get that car in a color called Caucasian. Also, 7-year-olds aren't allowed in Scott's car anymore. That means our second story is from Florida, where a 55-year-old man found himself behind bars after he allegedly threw an urn at his ex-girlfriend during an argument. No word on whose ashes they were. This reminds me that in my last will and testament, I do want to be cremated, and I want my ashes thrown in Chris Yob's face when he's not paying attention. But only the ashes of my ass. And in other news, right here in North Carolina, an overturned truck spills its contents, thousands of gallons of steak sauce. They have since renamed the highway from 440 to Highway A1. That's it for me this week, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Bravo. That was a great. I love when he takes it. Well, I don't love when he takes a week off, but he always comes back strong and then delivers a really good Jersey Man Florida Man. So, Chris, it was really funny. I thought last week you took a unique approach to the episode, and you're like, you know what? Let's get to know Nick and Sarah a little bit because Mr. Scott always talks, and you know,
I just care about them. Yeah.
Well, you care about them so much that you're like, okay, here's the rapid fire. Here's the first question. I'll go ahead and answer, and completely just dismissed them going.
Well, if you listen to what I said, no, I came on an episode, whatever, and then I was introduced on episode, whatever. And then I said I didn't get a chance to introduce myself either. So yeah, I was giving them a little bit of time to think about their answers because I'm courteous. I respect them. And I don't want to blindside them.
Okay.
But anyway, what were you saying?
You can host full time then.
I'm sorry, I just tested positive for COVID-19. I got to isolate. Got to get pulled off the campaign trail for about 2 weeks.
How's your daughter? Is she pooping?
I'll tell you what, man. My daughter is great. Me, not so much. I'll tell you why. So, 4th of July, went out with a bang. In her diaper. She pooped.
Right.
On her own. Luckily, we were at my mom's house, so she got to change the diaper. Then she just didn't stop pooping. Now it's gone from every 7 to 8 days to every 2 or 3 days. So we had to schedule an appointment with her before she started pooping at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which is like, I thought it was like overkill. We saw a gastro doctor and they're like, hate to tell you this, but like a breastfed healthy baby can go up to 14 days without pooping. So why do you hate to tell me that? That sounds amazing. So
what happened to 8 days?
Yeah. So she was going 8 days and it got lower. It turns out that she didn't know how to poop. So we had to teach her by like putting her in a little squatting position, like a little frog position.
Teach her how to poop. What do you like? Bring her to the bathroom and like you sit down. And you're like, okay, this is what I do.
Actually.
Oh,
I showed her some YouTube videos and I brought her in the bathroom with me. No, Scott, you fucking weirdo. It's not, babies can't get taught that.
Well, how do you teach a baby how to poop?
You put them in a little frog position. You give them little belly massages. I don't know. I'm learning this as I go, Scott.
But also, Chris, you're holding this baby, right?
Yes.
So that's step one. Scott, when did you hold Darren?
You son of a bitch. Not you, Nick. Him.
Yeah, 2 days. I got figured.
So anyway, so she started pooping, right?
Years.
But I'm thinking like one day she's going to be able to poop normal. One day, she's not only going to be able to poop when the in-laws are here, my mom's here, my sister's here. I have to prepare myself. So I did prepare myself. I was scrolling through Instagram. I found this product called Dad Knows and instantly ordered a 3-pack of them for $20.
You told us about Dad Knows.
On air?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get to use it. I got to use it for the first time today.
Okay.
For those who are watching for the first time tonight, I'll explain.
Yes,
Dad
please
Nose is a clown nose. No, it's not a clown nose. It's a removable spherical nose that you put on your nose.
And squeaks when you squeeze it.
And I used Wife's Candle today. Wife's Candle scent. Which just smells like chemicals, really, but smells way better than poop. And I changed the diaper, guys. I changed the diaper. Hold your applause.
Nice.
Hold your applause. Please clap. Please clap. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate that. I use no less than 18 wipes. So, did I have to use them? No, but it's gonna get really expensive. It's gonna get really expensive if I keep changing diapers.
So this is, I love this, Chris. This is like the man's way to get out of doing stuff. Like I broke my dryer by overloading it so that I would never have to do laundry again.
See, exactly. I spent $20 on these Dad Noses. I use 18 wipes per diaper change. So what's more convenient here?
Can you bring next episode? Can you wear the Dad Nose the
absolutely
episode? Okay,
not the whole episode. It'll give me a headache. It's very strong. It's very potent.
Gotcha.
Yeah, very potent. But anyway, happy, healthy. She's great.
She's smiling.
She's smiling.
I wanted to hate this kid, and every picture that I see of her smiling, I'm falling more and more in love. She's adorable.
All right, just keep your distance, Scott. But yes, Let's calm down. She started smiling this last month. It's cool. So we're doing like the baby book, like the monthly book.
So month. She's like a month
she's
old.
2 months old. She's 2 months old.
Okay.
We made the official post, all right, on the blanket with the thing, all right? That's when they're officially 2 months is when you post the picture on Facebook. That's the millennial official. Yeah.
You don't back in my day, we would do the for Michaela, not you, Darren. We would do the height.
Give a shit about you, Darren.
The height thing on the wall to track the height, the measurement and all that. Now it's just Facebook with the blanket and the tube.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shocker. She is her length is in the 12th percentile.
Makes sense.
Big shock.
Wait, is that short or is that tall?
88% of the population is taller than her at her age. You didn't have to laugh that hard. All right, it's not that funny. All right. So okay. All right. Can we get Rachel? Can we get Rachel in here? Can we put you on another vacation next week, baby? So, what was the last thing I was going to say? I forget. People were laughing so hard at my 12th percentile height child. So we do the month-to-month thing. And first month, it was like, what do they love? It was lights. Second month, what do they love? The Muppet Show theme song. I talked about on here before, I think. That's the only thing that gets her to stop crying. That and jumping up and down, like I'm the Tower of Terror, which you've seen if you watched on YouTube. She started to not like that as much. I think she's more aware. And doesn't like the whole dropping thing. But she still does love the Muppet song. But yeah, it's really fun going month by month, seeing, because they change so much week by week. So it's really cool looking back last month to this month. It's crazy because I think at month 3, they start laughing. So I'm going to have like such a huge head when I do the stupidest shit and she starts like dying laughing. Which I'm really excited for. It's going to be like talking to Scott.
Nothing.
I was waiting for you to find the soundboard. But anyway, that's the update with her. She is pooping regularly now. I'm saying unfortunately because if it was a health issue, I'd say, oh, thank goodness. But it wasn't. Apparently it wasn't. So, it sucks.
Yeah. All right.
Anyone want to visit or do overnight duties, please call me.
You said
and we'll set something up. Literal.
Did Dane come to visit you this weekend?
Sunday.
How did that go? You couldn't cancel on it because he was going to your house.
No, he's coming on Sunday. And then he's visiting me on Sundays. All
right. Well, I can't wait to hear all about Dane's visit with you next week. He told me, I was like, oh, content. Fantastic.
Yes.
Love this.
Yeah. Him and his girlfriend are coming. It's going to be a lot of... Cut that. Him and his girlfriend are visiting on Sunday.
And then they're going to come
on the Lord's Day.
On my day.
Chris, he did text me and say, like literally right before the show, and he said, what time on Sunday? And I told him, I said, like come over anytime after 11, but we have to wrap things up by 8. He just doesn't understand what it's like having a 2-month-old baby. And he says, all right, so what time do you want me to come over on Saturday to set up the swing so we don't waste any prime time?
That's funny. All right, Chris, you got any Cliff Notes?
I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
So this week there was an assassination attempt on Scott's character. Unfortunately, he survived, and he will be hosting this podcast for the next several years. In the beginning of the episode, Scott claimed that he didn't know what NWA stood for. Now, maybe that's because the first word is pronounced differently than how he pronounces it.
Oh, wow.
Scott talked about how he was afraid to go to California without Rachel because he's not good at making decisions. What are you good at, Scott?
Nothing. Literally nothing. I thought it was podcasting. That was a lie. I thought it was going live at the parks on the TikTok. That is a lie. I'm not.
It was a rhetorical
Okay,
question.
sorry.
It's okay. Scott said that he had to wait 25 minutes in the TSA line and was furious about it. Now, I was actually on the phone with Scott during this. He said, I don't understand why I have to go through TSA. I'm white. Scott was disappointed. Scott was disappointed that he... He's like my baby next month. I'm telling you. This is what it's going to be like.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Because when you think about it, it's probably what you were thinking. I didn't say that out loud.
It's only funny because it's true.
Scott was disappointed that he had an iPhone on his flight with Wi-Fi, but no earphones to listen to it. Now you know how Rachel feels when you want to have sex. It's there, it just can't be used. Oh, man. Scott said they were warned about bad turbulence. The flight attendant came over the intercom and said, it's about to get real rough. That's the same thing Scott whispers into his dog's ears before... Never mind.
Oh, my God.
Never mind.
Wow.
Scott said that seeing the castle in Disneyland was like September 12th because you're used to seeing something, then it's not there. After he hit 40, he used the same term to describe his penis.
It was much longer before 40. I've had this gut for a while.
Nick said that he sees religious billboards in Ohio that says Jesus is coming. These are actually for a Mexican strip club. They say Jesus is coming.
Perfect. Let's go, Sean.
That's what I said when I was muted. And I was like, that was a really good joke. I don't know why nobody laughed. And he typed it on your mute. I was like, oh, thank goodness I'm letting that one down. Because that one needs to be told.
That was great.
Nick said that he took so much medicine that he could see the future. I guess we can call him Brown Nose Stradamus. And lastly, Sarah has been packing her whole house away. In a few weeks, she'll have nothing left to pack. Nothing to pack. That's like when Scott puts on underwear. Those are my cliff notes.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Chris, taking a week off, those may have been your best Cliff Notes.
I had to compile a long list this week.
Yeah, that was really good.
You gotta put them together.
Oh, that's gross. Darren, did I forget anything from the trip? Anything that you wanted? The whole reason why you're on is to fill in the blanks.
My favorite part of the episode actually was when you asked Darren how his trip was, what his highlight of the trip was.
This trip was for me. He was there to get us free into
free
places.
what? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I do think the funniest part about tonight was like, yeah, I'm going to bring Darren on so we can talk all about our trip. You brought Darren on so you could talk all about your trip.
It wasn't even the trip; it was just the flight.
Darren was there to show me the way, like to plan the day.
This was just my make-a-wish to be on, so that's why we love it.
Darren, did I forget anything? Did I leave anything out? Is there anything that you wanted to share that I didn't share?
I don't think so. I think you covered everything. Minus the all the murder, but that's fine.
There was only one attempted murder. She lived.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. Like I know I talked about this a little bit last week, but like I heard a bang and then I heard screaming. And then I thought it was a Spanish lady being extremely dramatic about her family member jumping out of the bush and scaring her. And then it was like when I walked out around the corner and I heard, call security. And I was like, what the hell? Like, that's the thing. If she was having a heart attack, they would have said, call 911. But they kept saying, call security. So
I'm sure they probably still to call 911 if somebody was getting murdered.
I know, but security is like, I don't know. Security kept being, maybe it was a cast member that was yelling, call security. I don't know.
They're filming a movie?
What? Maybe they were filming a movie. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, and I have no closure. I know she lived because she sat up. I don't know.
Didn't talk about the room situation.
We didn't. We were supposed to have 2 queen size beds. We got 1 king. So Darren and I spooned. That was weird.
Well, don't say Darren and I. You just grabbed onto me and just said Rach. Oh, that freaked me out.
Like I thought it was a 2-year-old staying there.
Yeah, the room was great. They shoved Disney down our throats. The hidden Mickeys everywhere. There was a cool photo of different Disneyland things. There was the rabbit blowing the dwarf. That was weird. But yeah, super fun time. Darren on the last day went on the monorail slide.
Oh, the big monorail slide. It was a bucket list item for me.
Yeah.
Not Disneyland, just the water slide.
Yeah. None of our Uber drivers spoke any English.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that that's a problem there?
We're close to California or close to Mexico, so.
Well, I'm close to Cuba here.
What?
But one of them was
That's like not the same at all, actually.
One of them was Russian.
Oh yeah, Vladimir.
Yeah.
That was our 2-hour Uber drive.
He was so nice.
He was. Was that the one that was like trying to be our tour guide? Yes. Yeah, he's like, okay, that's where Michael Jackson died. That's where Michael Jackson touched his first kid. That's where Michael Jackson is buried now. Like, it was this whole, and if you look over here, they filmed this here. He was like, I was like, why are you a tour guide? Why aren't you an Uber driver? He's like, I just know the area. I live here. Okay. But yeah, it was fun. I'm glad to be back. The last day, like, we were sad to leave, but we were happy to be back. Or happy to be leaving or going home. It's tiring. Anyway, Sarah, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on the Instagram at Old Soul Thrift or on the TikTok at SuperSarah94.
Darren?
Not at Disneyland. But you can go to Instagram at Darren_Mathey and find my link tree there.
Nick?
You can find me at Emotional Support Gay Nick on the Instagram and Sandpiper Vacations on all social media platforms. And next week you'll find me on the Carnival Mardi Gras Cruise Line.
Wait, you're not going to be here next week?
Yeah, I sent a text message and you're like, going live.
Darren, you're in.
Okay.
Chris?
Oh, it's just my name. Chris Yob on Instagram, then Chris Yob NNF on TikTok, and posted a lot of reels and TikToks lately. This is my daughter, not of me, so you'll want to see it. Yeah, you'll want to see it.
And you can find us now on Favorited, the new Favorited app. Maybe it'll be around, maybe it won't. We don't know. It's just like TikTok, only owned by U.S. people. U.S. people? People in the U.S., not China. It's not. Anyway, you can connect with us. All of our social media links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our really sweet merchandise. Join our clubhouse for as low as $2 a month. That is our Patreon. Become a friend with benefits and get all sorts of exclusive access to different things. Also, we go live on YouTube as we're recording this every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then sometimes we go live from the parks, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays on the TikTok. On behalf of Game Master Ryan, our producer Alex, the wise man Darren.com, Nick, Sarah, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Can I get an amen up in here?
Amen.
No new friends, just the old and the bold in the world of games.